Oh, I'm back. Yeah, round two. Yeah, this is, just in the whatever the timeout period. I was thinking about it. I'm just saying, it's really, I really have lived my life in a sense, not recognizing something about human beings is that they apparently just never really did this self-analysis thing where, they looked at what they were doing in the world and recognized that they're doing this value exchange constantly. I mean, this is something that occurred to me when I was very young, that I was quite obviously out for my comfort, and I was competing with my sisters and other people and the world and all these different contexts. I was playing this value game where I was trying to negotiate my comfort, all right, trying to weasel it, okay, to pull it out of the environment, me comfortable. And I was trying to do it in a way, like I said, that I wouldn't look like I was taking it from anybody. But I often knew that I was taking it from other people. I knew I was kind of a thief. And I even did when I was in kindergarten. I got caught because I was fascinated with magnets, and so I stole the magnets out of the little magnetic numbers on the board, and so I stole all the magnets. And everybody knew I was obsessed with magnets, so it was like the trail leading to my desk was just so obvious. Like, oh yeah, the magnets are missing. Well, who has them? Oh, I guess it's the kid who's obsessed with magnets. So I wasn't too smart as a criminal. But that was one of these lessons you learned, that I want stuff and I want to get it from the world, and it's going to be at somebody else's price. Like, they're going to want their magnets too. They want them. And somehow I think I want them more than them, or I need them more, or I'm going to take better care of it. It's like I even stole a turtle once because I just thought I could take better care of it. But I wanted it. And that was the truth of it. I wanted the damn turtle. Okay? I rationalized it by saying I knew I was going to be better at turtle husbandry, because I was going to sit there and play with the turtle and have a relationship with the turtle where nobody else was doing that. But that's what I stole. I stole the turtle because I wanted the fucking turtle. And so why do I need Kant? Why do I need Nietzsche? Why do I need Aristotle? Why do I need any fucker on planet Earth to explain to me what I'm doing here? So anyway, but see, that's where me and this guy differ. It never occurred to him. The obvious, when he's shoving the food in his mouth, when he's doing all the stuff he's doing, the obvious, like, what did this cost somebody? What's the real price of this exploitation? It just never occurs to him. He sees the bones of the animal he's used up, completely used up. Incarcerated, tortured, and then killed. And it doesn't occur to him to account for it at all. There's just I want and no reflection that, damn, I really didn't have a right to do that. My want isn't better want. My need isn't better need. It's just not the truth. We have to make these exchanges. And they suck. And it sucks that we have to make these exchanges. I guess all these assholes think they're immune. So, they're going to, obviously, they're going to walk the trail of tears eventually. And then they'll be crying on the trail of tears going, woe is me, why didn't somebody tell me? Well, somebody tried to tell you and you wouldn't listen. That's the problem, buddy. So anyway, on with the show. 4 minutes you didn't need, but I think it added some value to this interaction. So we're at this statement where he just made this statement. Moral is the more secular term. So all the atheists, all you motherfuckers, is that what you believe? I bet you when I read these comments, there's not going to be a single comment saying, whoa, that's bullshit, man. Moral is a douchebag word. None of you people are going to call him on this accusation that moral is the more secular term. Jefferson loved the word moral much better than the word ethics. I don't know if he did, but I'm just saying as an example. I think that's just an idiotic statement.
If you can find me one shred of evidence that says otherwise, You know, if you think the moral non-cognitivists are theologians, then you don't understand moral non-cognitivism, right?
Well, let's just do a Google search, okay? Let's just, for the sake of it, somebody else do it. I don't got time for this bullshit. But put the word moral and God together at Google and see how many results come up. And then put the word ethics and God together and see how many results there are. And see which one comes up with more results. How about that?
So no, you don't know what these terms mean. The reason why is because you don't have an interest in the subject.
Yeah, okay, so that's the depth of his consideration. As I've already defined how I look at it, okay? Ethics always to me has meant a more scientific, more methodical, more secular, more rational approach to describing the balances, the trade-offs. So ethics is almost like an efficiency standard. Ethics is a more rational way to value what you're trading. You're always making a trade-off, and it's just a way of doing this risk analysis of what the right thing to do is. Where morality is constantly and always associated with some dogmatic proclamation from usually on high that states that this is the edict, it is immoral to do this thing, this thought, this behavior, this activity, and that is it. That's the rule. Homosexuals are immoral. No one says homosexuals are unethical. Does anyone ever heard somebody say that homosexuality is unethical? It's always defined as a moral crime, a crime against morality. So, I mean, this guy is so fucking wrong. I mean, fuck. And this is a little point. This is a nothing, meaningless point. But his whole video is a bunch of nothing, meaningless points. Again, if he's going to accuse me of being some kind of imbecile, not sufficient to the conversation, and then to make such an idiotic statement as if moral is the more secular term. Again, when has ever the word ethics been associated with anything called a moral crime? Where? Ever? I mean, it's just silly. No one has called homosexuality an ethical violation. No one.
Fuck, what was I talking about? Values in an economic sense versus values in a moral sense. Values in a moral sense are not relative. And they do not exist. They are property of the concept of something. Right? So if I talk about love, it is innate to the concept of love. All
right, well, whatever. If I talk about love, so you're gonna sit there and really blow it all up, right? You're gonna talk about an emotion, all right? A preposterously, erroneously defined emotion. You might as well bring up angels as an example. Why don't you talk about some other figment of people's imagination than to talk about love as if it meant something coherent and concrete?
It is good. That I'm prepared to affirm. It is not something relative. It is not something... It is something... This is another problem.
Oh, whatever. I mean, this is just silly. I mean, it's just silly. You mean my chauvinistic, completely bigoted perception of beauty, and therefore my capacity to fall in love with something merely because it's beautiful, is something that you think is a wonderful attribute of the human species? Bigotry is beautiful. You might as well put that on the piece of paper too, okay? Can I quote you? Bigotry is beautiful. I mean, I'm sure I mean, I could go down we go down the list, right? I mean, you're really going to tell me that some woman who has some sort of skanky vagina disease and wart pustules, okay, is being appreciated, is being loved by the world, based on the beauty of the love reaction. I mean, this is just idiot. Like I said, why don't you talk about cuteness next? Oh, love.
Subjective in the sense that it requires a subject in order to make sense. Objects don't love. Objects don't have value. Rocks.
So a rock is an object, a cat is an object too, isn't it? It doesn't have any value? Is that the argument you're going to make?
which is an object, a rock is an object, does not have value. In that sense, it is subjective. But it's not subjective in the sense...
Yeah, and who was talking about the ethics of rocks? Was anybody talking about the interaction of rock on rock crime, rock rape, rock violence, rock murder? No, no one was talking about that. We're talking about sentient creatures, aren't we? So yes, using an example has absolutely nothing to do with the subject. Oh, the fucking cosmos. Yes, the galaxy just attacked that other galaxy. Let's have an ethical theory on that. Let's morally swear at it. What a terrible, nasty galaxy.
It's merely subjective. It's not subjective in the sense of it's your opinion versus mine, or something like that. So again, we find equivocation between different uses of the word subjective. Subjective as something to do with this subject, and subjective in terms of something that somebody pulled out of their ass.
Yeah, well, this looks like word puke to me. So now we're gonna parse the word subjective. Well, I mean, part of me says yes, it needs some parsing, because I'm always having to make this argument that subjective is associated with two kinds of concepts. Okay, a narrowing of perspective or a bigoting of perspective. So it's either a biased perspective where you have something false that's in the picture that shouldn't be in the picture, or the picture is narrowed because you don't have a full objective view. So that would be the difference between a subjective and an objective perspective. Would be objective would imply completeness and non-biased. Subjective is incomplete or biased. One of those two. Subjective is not a good thing.
Right. Different senses of the term. So we have these words. And these words...
Yeah, these words suck. So you're going to have to use more than just fucking labels, alright? You're going to have to learn how to grow up a little bit. Why don't you read some of your fucking books and realize that those guys wrote a lot of words to say some things sometimes, because guess what? Labels didn't always make it. Alright, so you can't keep relying on your fucking goddamn taglines and your idiotic fucking goddamn lines of one sentence or two-word fucking phrases. Okay, all this pigeonholing bullshit game that you're playing is not very fucking ivory tower. It's fucking goddamn ignorant sewer, you dumb fuck. So why don't you grow the fuck up and make a real fucking argument instead of throwing your fucking labels around, you stupid asshole?
Which are very, very well developed in the history of ethical thought. And somebody who's taken an Ethics 101 class.
Oh yeah, or taking a Muhammad 101 class, or a Jesus 101 class, or a fucking Buddha 101 class. Why should I take any of those classes, okay? I'm not an idiot. I can figure out what I'm exchanging in my life every fucking day. I'm perfectly fucking aware of it. Alright, it didn't take me too fucking long to figure out that I want happy, okay? And I know that I'm going to have to take it from the shit out there. The stuff out there is going to have to give it to me, you dumbass.
Will fucking understand the difference between value in an economic sense and value in the sense of something like autonomy.
Again, autonomy. What the fuck does this word even goddamn mean? What the fuck do you think that word means, you stupid retard? What the fuck do you think that word really means? That's like saying an I or something. It gets into a very complex... again, it's another label. You just say the word like love, autonomy. These words don't mean anything, and they can't mean anything in this context. There is no way for you to act, okay, independently. There is no independence. You are dependent on the environment. You just can't make a claim to this thing. It would be very nice. Obviously, we'd all say it'd be very nice if we all get what we all want. But we know that's not the fucking game we're playing. It's not the game. This game doesn't allow for that, you stupid cunt.
Taken an Ethics 101 class will fucking understand the difference between value in an economic sense and value in the sense of something like autonomy.
Again, so how does anyone make any sense out of that? So because a retard is incapable of exercising anything that we call reasonable autonomy, they can't know, all right? They can't have an independent want that could be possibly respectable, because they're going to want things they can't have. Like, I want to fuck her, you know, or something. So they can't have this right to take. All right? And how do we make these distinctions? Where do we define this line of when somebody's too stupid to have their judgment respected? I don't have to respect a rapist. I don't have to respect a fucking psycho killer. I don't have to respect a fucking Muslim. I don't have to respect a fucking Christian. I'm telling you, I don't have to respect you. All right? If your judgment, in my opinion, is vacant of anything called reason, I don't have to respect it. I don't have to give you any autonomy to do whatever the fuck you want. Because you have no credibility or competence. It's fucking erroneous and vacant and arbitrary is some sort of notion that you're fucking qualified to have autonomy, to be the driver of even your own bus. You haven't proven your qualification. By what standard did you prove that you know how to drive your own bus, buddy? In a world where there's a ton of traffic. You haven't proven it. And you're certainly not going to prove it by not recognizing that sentience is the value on planet Earth. The currency is sentient welfare. The currency is sentient welfare. On planet Earth, the currency is sentient welfare. On the planet identified as Earth in the universe, the currency of value, the thing absolutely creating all value gravity, is sentient welfare. But you bigots think you can intersubjectively agree to leave all of those other mammals out of the scorekeeping. Not to mention all the other bugs and other organisms that have neurology capable of creating sensation. And that's how you think you're going to play a fair, do your duty game. Yeah, fuck you, fuck Kant, fuck your whole fucking religion. And that's all it is. The religion of unaccountability, the religion of selfishness that's Ayn Rand all over the fucking goddamn place. And all you people are is you're living in evolution, you're not understanding evolution. You might as well be fucking dinosaurs because you're using a little tiny pea part of your brain, and that's it. The rest of it is just scheming to satisfy the pea. Your fucking pea brains. Oh, okay. I'm making a speech. It's time for the comments. Let's reload and see if we got some new ones. It ought to be a little bit fun. Mostly. It's possible, isn't it? Look, Terminator. Yay! Terminator 2. Liquid metal! It's not a preposterous idea at all. Well, it's a little bit preposterous, but yeah, it was watchable. Anyway, okay. At frame 311, you make the point that you can... Oh, look, it's Karen the skanky cunt. At frame 311, you make the point that you can deduce quite confidently that Inmendham has never cracked a book on the subject of ethics. So again, this is all about some sort of... You must crack their book. So have you read the Quran, Karen? Have you... should I go down the list? And then should I go down the list, my reading list? Yeah, fuck you. This is actually how these people think. You don't talk their talk. You don't have their Jeebus book on your shelf. You don't have their holy Bible. All right? Yeah, you're going to hell. Yeah. That he has no background on the subject. He has no concept of what ethics is or how ethics function. Well, again, I don't have to defend my qualifications. I actually make arguments, unlike you. Okay, you're the lying scum who goes on the internet and says some idiotic notions like, parasitism is symbiosis. Yes, the universe is trying to love itself. Epigenetics, is making us, we can make ourselves better people. I mean, you're the one with the crackpot, nonsensical, idiotic theories, bitch. Okay, anyway. Since it's very clear you're right. Oh, okay. Since it's very clear. So do you believe to be serious, morality is the more secular term. Do you believe that, skanky cunt? I just have to echo comment and ask, why the hell are you wasting time? Yes, well, whatever. You people are a waste of goddamn consciousness. You're a waste of a goddamn neural network. You think nothing. You're useless bags of fucking rotten shit. They're trying to explain these basic concepts to him. Yeah, that's right. Basic concepts of greed, selfishness, glorification of your human bigotries. Yeah, I don't see anything in your fucking bigotry that's of any value whatsoever. Or your pettiness. You are just such a petty fucking bitch. He won't listen, and his response will make other repetitive, predictable rant. Well, okay, go ahead and make a video, and I'll predictably rant on your video and point out how you're an ignorant motherfucking cunt, okay? So I defy you. I defy you to make a video defending the statement, okay, that recognizing suffering is bad, especially animal suffering, dumb bitch, okay, is like comparing it to a potato. This asshole thinks your suffering animals are a potato, you dumb bitch. You can't figure that out? This motherfucker will kill them, murder them, slaughter them, stomp on them, cause them suffering, and think it's a goddamn fucking potato, you dumb fucking cunt. Alright, anyway. Sometimes one finds enjoyment in educating the audience while addressing the other's intellectual adjudication. Whatever. Skeptical heretic, another Weasley fucking ballless cunt. Okay, he's made one video on the subject of antinatalism. I fucking ground him into the fucking motherfucking dirt, and I'll gladly do it again, you fucking cunt. I defy you, I dare you to make a video defending morality is the more secular term. I defy you to defend the idiotic notion, okay, that to compare suffering to currency, debt, is erroneous and is irrelevant and is whatever his other word he used, as comparing it to a potato. Go ahead and defend what this asshole has said, shit for brains. Take a quote from his fucking video and defend it. I defy you. Okay. Only if one more interested in gamesmanship than in speaking about the matters. Yes, right. You're the fucking pussies. I mean, really. This isn't some stage somewhere where I can talk over you and talk, and you never get your chance, and you can't make a video, and you can't do anything because I'm dominating the stage, and I'm fucking have you in chains, and I'm whipping you, and I'm beating the crap out of you, and I knocked all your teeth out, and so you're just going, none of that's fucking happening, retard. You have every fucking right, if you think you've been legitimately harmed, to make a goddamn video explaining it or showing it. Go ahead, have videotape of me taking away your rights or arguing because you're not being a skanky motherfucking petty insulting bitch. Go ahead and show where you didn't deserve what you got, you skanky piece of shit. Every goddamn chance you get a chance to insult me and do nothing more than that, you take it because you're a petty fucking bitch. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, good stuff. Keep the fun and stick to the point. Keep it fun. Keep it fun. I talk about torture because it's fun. And Inmendham, deal withable. He's quite intelligent and, well, I'm not. You got that wrong. And has a drive that is second to none. No, I have some sort of rational agenda, unlike you fuckers. I personally think YouTube would be cheapened without him. Well, YouTube would be colossally ignorant, because apparently I am the only person on planet Earth that can figure out the obvious, that suffering sucks. Gee. Yes, that's right. You're all fucking imbeciles. Don't ever let him hook or frustrate you, and if it means keeping your distance and refusing to respond to his misrepresentations. Again, how did I misrepresent? Okay, morality is the more secular term. All value is arbitrary. These are his quotes, you stupid fuck. Anyway. That's fine. I personally feel he's been self-checkmated. Well, that's certainly an impossible concept, but go ahead and babble it anyway. But this stamina and focus precludes him from ever admitting that. Yes, of course. It's not like I desperately am so fucking insecure that, yeah, I really do think that harm and suffering is fun. Yeah, that's right. And that torture is just something we do, and it all doesn't matter. And once the Jews are all dead in the Holocaust, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I certainly do believe that. And I'm really so worried that my counter theory is just complete nonsense. And I've certainly, I realized I'm totally checkmated by the suffering doesn't matter argument. No, none of that happened. You are a deluded motherfucker. Anyway, and the gymnastics he performs. Yes, the gymnastics of saying suffering be bad. Even a 6-year-old can do it. To demonstrate that the dead end is not dead end are often worth the watch. Yes, whatever. The dead end, the only dead end is that, I have this perception that over time people do become more rational. And so there is some hope of getting people to rationality eventually. But yeah, I'm pretty certain their irrationality is going to blow them into dystopia before that happens. Assholes like you with you will blow the brain of mankind all over the bathroom. Keep your cool and you're Inmendham proof. What a smiley face. Yeah, right, I'm just the horror on the internet. I'm always make crank calls to people, and I'm always fucking with the, calling the town, having the cops show up at people's houses. I'm doing all kinds of shit like that. I'm not the desperate motherfucker, unlike you kooks. Alright, Gary reacts the way he does when you address this argument for the same reason a theist reacts, as if you're insulted them personally when you argue against their religion. Oh, that's right. Gary cares about stuff. That's right, because Gary was rational, and he understands that his pain isn't the only pain in the universe. And so he's concerned because there's all this other pain, and he knows he didn't plan his birth, so he knows that when somebody's born in Indonesia, they didn't plan it either. They're just going to be a victim of their fucking circumstance. And he finds that whole concept horrific. Fuck you, you stupid fat bald creep. He scorns the internet, declaring jihads on, oh yeah, my jihads are what? I'm going to make a response and point out how you're a dumb motherfucking skanky, smelly, bald cunt on anyone that insults him. He'll happily assign psychological reasons for rejecting anti-natalism. Well, are there any other reasons besides psychological reasons? So you're telling me there is a rational reason, okay, for us to create life on Mars. We would be rationally appropriate for us to infect Mars with microbes. It couldn't possibly be some sort of crazy psychology thing. You actually think it's good for Mars. It's good for the universe to have life on Mars. Yeah, while granting himself immunity from the problems that plague plagues other gray matters. I don't know what that means. Once you start citing common sense as, okay, so it's common sense to say morality instead of ethics. Once you start citing, and you're the one not being the God botherers, you Kantians who believed in God. Once you start citing common sense as the way to... Yeah, I mean, I love this. Atheists who believe in God. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. As a way to get a good bread on reality. I don't know, the bead. You've brought a one-way ticket to Dogma Town. So, again, and what's the dogma? My dogma is I believe in evolution. I believe when evolution created conscious beings that were sentient, that it created value in the universe for the first time. When the first organism said ouch, it was the first incidence of value to exist in the universe. And that the welfare state of sentient beings is the thing that generates all value in the universe. Oh my God. Horror, horror. Dogma, dogma. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure ivory tower stuff isn't a problem for what you say here. Well, that's not much of a comment. I mean, it's not, besides being incomprehensible. But anyway. So, due in the morning, the other biggest, flappiest, skankiest cunt. Intersubjectivity. I'm afraid Inmendham doesn't know what that means. Well, I think it means that you agree to be bigots. Yeah, you're a bigot. You're a bigot against animals. Yes, you are. He talked as if it was everybody subjectively chooses its own values or no value. Yes, well, everybody does. You do choose, and then you choose. You say, "Hey, we all agree. Isn't that cool? Let's make a club of the agreeers. Let's agree to be bigots." Yeah, and we'll just claim that animals don't matter, and then we can eat them. Yeah. Fuck you. Ethical is synonymous with moral. Ethical is synonymous to moral. In fact, it comes from the Greek word ethos. Okay, so again, why don't any of the crazy religious fuckers say homosexuality is unethical? Which had the meaning behavior, because morality and one of the meanings of ethics, the other meaning is a appreciation of beauty or art. Originated out of people considering actions of people and how they affect other people. The word ethos, well again, we get to the word morality, acquired a new meaning. Morality is just a norm, which was a carpenter's tool to measure. Oh, isn't that amazing? Acquiring the meaning of normal, and from there went to normative. So they think morality is the like you would discuss morality in any circumstance that you're measuring behavior, and it's not associated almost exclusively with measuring behavior against God's edicts. I just found that preposterous nonsense. The Ten Commandments were not an ethical code; it was a moral code. But it doesn't. Who cares? I mean, this is. You people are too silly. You're just too silly. Not to be an ass, but you do know that some colleges do still use the word ethics for their courses. Not only that, who came up with the idea of this worldly transcendence and religionless Christianity, whatever that is, or the non-religious interpretation of the Bible. Well, that just makes so much sense, which is related but separate debate. Well, let's just keep doing silly religious type things. Let's see if we can reinterpret the Bible so it isn't a book about silly, fable-y stories. Yeah, why do we want to do that? Oh, because you can't figure out that we already know the truth and we don't need the Bible? So while I'm ignorant on the field itself, I wouldn't say using the word ethics or even the theological or religious nature, or even or rather religious nature of these ideas necessarily devalues them. I don't even know what that means. Also, I think you were cut off by Google Tube. I've seen that happening a lot lately. Yeah, whatever. Well, whatever. I just don't. I don't care. I mean, I've said it as clearly as I can say it. I don't like the word at all. I think the word is obnoxious and repulsive, and I don't know why you atheists think this is a cool word to use. Again, you're talking to an ideologue. Oh, you mean somebody who actually believes in something. Ooh, scary, scary. And what's the dogma, Christian? Let me hear the dogma. Oh, yeah, the dogma is I recognize the value of the sentient experience. That's dogma. Ooh. Gary has made it clear his disdain for the study of philosophy. No, I have disdain for philosophers who are liars and fabulists. The idea of philosophy as being a branch of science where you attempt to describe reality, not describe your fantasies, I think is quite legitimate. and says people who use philosophical language and cite philosophers such as Aristotle are assholes trying to confuse the issue. Well, I've said that about Nietzsche most particularly, but whatever, who cares? Which translates to people getting in the way of my ideological agenda. Okay, so he's quoting that like that has something to do with it. Again, you think Aristotle had the truth, you think Kant had the truth, you think Nietzsche had the truth. Fine. I don't think any one of those are anywhere close to the truth. So go ahead, follow your books and see where that leads you. Okay? I'm quite confident I've got the truth, and I'm quite confident that you will quote no babble from your icons, from your Jesus, that'll mean anything. It'll be drivel, like this guy just dribbled. Love. Yeah, his followers are no different in that regard. So again, yeah, we'll just call you a follower of Kant and Nietzsche and dismiss you. You're dismissed. Yeah, that's fair. I wonder what Poodle Susan would reply to this part of the video. 1013, I'm not going to find that. Since that is exactly what I meant when I've said that there's no such thing as an objective value. So once again, I would argue that no supercomputer, okay, which would be the ultimate complete perspective, once overviewing the entire universe and every element of it, I believe a supercomputer who has tasted sentient experience would be able to say it's better not to have this unpleasant shit and it's really good to have the pleasant shit. So don't do the bad thing. We don't really have to have the good thing, but don't do that repulsive concentration camp thing. Let's get rid of that. You're saying a supercomputer would not draw that conclusion. That suffering, torture, harm is not something a supercomputer with a complete perspective who has tasted, okay, it's not bigoted by, but has tasted, okay, sensations and has tasted pleasant, comforting sensation and discomforting sensation, would not conclude that it would be really a good idea to get rid of these uncomfortable sensations and you know, trade them for these better ones. That's why there is an argument on the topic to begin with. Everyone seems to be using different definitions of the words objective and subjective. Everybody's using a different definition of the word value and ethics and every word in our vocabulary, and that is a huge problem. But I mean, I really don't think there's anything, you know, again, I mean, let's just say, what would the supercomputer say? Can we go by that standard? Can we all agree that the supercomputer be a really cool source to go ask, the all-knowing supercomputer? What would the supercomputer say? I like it. Alright. A consequentialist argument is a fallacy, says she, the bitch, the kook. Inmendham has criticized in his own way, which is more often than not, ad hominem attacks. Me and Karen Kobe for citing books. Well, that's all you do, though. You cite titles. You don't make arguments. You just fucking cite some title. Some kook says something. You say the kook is relevant. You try to make a whole big argument based on the kook's non-argument and then claim you've said something meaningful, and you've said nothing. Absolutely nothing. Show me one video you've ever made where you say anything that means anything. Then, in one video, he stated that he has a book from about Darwin. He opened the book in front of the camera and proceeded to show and talk about the pictures in the book, never mentioning the text. It wasn't a book about Darwin, you stupid cunt. The book was a Time Life book called Evolution. So again, you still can't even get that right. And I was just pointing out that this is a book I had when I was a kid, and I was pointing out that I liked the pictures. That's why I was showing the pictures. It's because I was pointing out this is a book on my bookshelf when I was 10 years old. And it was my introduction to the more technical parts of the theory of evolution. It has pictures of the Galapagos Island organism. It has the finch beaks. And I was showing the fucking pictures. Amazing. Pity I don't remember which video it was, but you will understand my problem with the titles and length and frequency of the videos. Well, again, and then the Modern Mystic made a video about economics, and he showed the exact same series time. Oh, look, here they are right here. So those are the evil books I showed pictures out of. Ooh, the horror, the horror, the horror. Early man, the universe, light, earth, energy, matter, man and space, the body. Oh, what horrible books. God, you're just so pathetic. Oh, God, these people are so disgusting. What is this? Hossein does not subscribe to consequentialism either. He made a few videos on the subject too, if you want to check those out instead of Inmendham. Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know, is that relevant? I don't think so. Why the hell are you wasting time with Inmendham? Why would anyone waste time with you? You fucking can't even associate your account with any kind of relevant icon. You have an impronounceable name, a nondescript, nothing icon, and then you talk on the internet like you have something intelligent to say. Wow. Some authority. So, I mean, I would say Kant is not even an authority, but this guy certainly isn't, and he's got 5 up ratings. Why? Because he's just wasting my time. Okay. Please breed. Oh yeah, the universe wants it. I want it. The privilege of calling you daddy is enough to justify my existence. Just do it. Nut everywhere. Propagate them beautiful genes. I don't even know what this... I don't know the real point of that. Antinatal apologetics. Scary is the sci-tech bit of antinatalism. Oh, well, whatever. You are a douchebag. And probably a pedophile. Can't you guys just do a hangout and get it over with? Those don't work out anyway. What are we going to get over? His perverse abuse of language. Suffering is a potato. There's no way to get over that. How do you get past that? He is too stupid for conversation. Anything that comes up to me, walks up to me and says, suffering is a potato. Alright, I'm not going to waste my fucking time. Ethics causes suffering to Inmendham. Well, whatever that means. Yeah, using words like love does cause me some pain. I will concede. It's not just that he hasn't read a book. He can't be bothered to Google words he doesn't know. Again, I can't be bothered talking your Mohammed language, okay? I don't go, I don't do that. And I'm not talking your gibberish, motherfucking cunt. Grow the fuck up and use real words for a change. We have a whole big pile of them, okay? Lots of nouns and verbs that are perfectly adequate. We don't need consequentialism that's undefined. We don't need to use words like moral nihilist and all this other crap you people are clinging to. I have no use for this shit. You either understand that suffering sucks or you don't. Isn't it that complicated? It's not that complicated. You're either a suffering suckser or a non-suffering suckser. That's what it comes down to here. You're either a selfish fucking cunt, like you, or you're a rational, decent human. Those are your two choices. Fuck for brains. You know, that's arduous task. It takes a whole 10 seconds. He doesn't care, dude. Oh, a dude user. Dude is such a fucking intelligent word. He just wants to play his little cunt who worship him and plot their own suicides. Yeah, right. That's right. Antinatalism is about suicide. Yeah, that's how smart you are. Is that you think natalism and suicide are the same thing. No, I think you're the psychopath. If you think having sex, okay, and procreation are the same thing, or that suicide and procreation are the same thing, you're really fucking dumb. You need to make more videos while wearing beaded necklaces. Yes, it's also fun. The whole Mardi Gras. I went to them as a child. You used to get some free footballs out of it, but that was about all it was worth. Frankly, I found it to be kind of just an annoying 2-hour ride to, parades. I don't really like parades. My father does have some good 8mm film, though. Because he was kind of funny. Because, he'd video the women, marching band things. The women with the things they spun and stuff. And it was kind of funny that of all the footage we have of Mardi Gras, like 90% of it is girls twirling baton thingies. So it was kind of, and my father was not, he was not you know, in any overt way, a ladies' man, but he was obviously a ladies' man. You know, he just didn't let anybody know it. Oh, it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. Just a little personal story, just to add a little charm to the video. Oh, God. These people are so annoying. I'm just so sick of the same raggy crap. Any one of these assholes. I'll take any one of you on in a Skype conversation anytime. And I'll do it with the proviso that I can't say fuck, cunt, skank. I mean, I don't mind. You can have a list of 20 words I can't say, and if I say the words, I automatically lose $20 or something. That's okay with me. But I'll take any one of you on any subject, and I'll just turn you into absolute fucking whatever, platypus grease. You got nothing. You're ballless, gutless, trolly little whiny, bitchy, moany, weak, nerdy, pussy mud throwers. That's all you got. I'm gonna hide and throw mud. That's all you got.